Welcome to the Fantasy Aceball podcast. This is your host, Tim Kanak. You can find me on X at Fantasy Aceball or the YouTube if you're watching at the Tim Kanak. And we have back with us our most famousest actor, Mr. Doc Eisenhauer. Or if you actually want to look him up on IMDb and be a weirdo and search for all his things. Actually, he probably likes that. You can find him. His real name's Darren Eisenhower. Ooh, he's like, no, not for this, but for acting. That's his acting name. So go find his acting name. But Doc, how was it? How was the old Western movie that you shot?
So, I mean, there's two things are going on. They're a little bit conflated. One is that Killin' Jim Kelly is a Western movie that's coming out. It's actually on Amazon Prime right now. I played Doc Holliday on that. That's how I got the moniker. I'm actually going to post this. I have to post this online. I want to make like a little compilation of my scenes. I'm just going to show people, and so it's incentive to actually check it out. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. That's literally why I made March 2023 is when I made my Doc Holliday Dyna baseball account, because I was in the Doc zone. I had just acted as him, and at the same time, apparently, I decided I needed to become a baseball guru for fantasy sports. And then this one was I was playing a Pilgrim, so kind of a Western, older 1600s. I was playing William Bradford. And you know that the English accent, like, if you want to talk all posh, like that didn't happen till later. Like that, the Royals just wanted to sound fancier, so they made it up.
Oh.
And so that means that the Pioneers weren't really sounding like that. They were sounding something like a mix between like Irish and like Appalachian. So they had hard R's and things like that. They almost sounded like pirates, and it was kind of a weird thing. I don't know.
That makes sense. I mean, okay, so you went to Arizona to film. Does the movie actually take place in Arizona, or what was the location somewhere else? Because what back in the 1600s wasn't like French people in Arizona? It was like Mexicans and French or something.
No, man. So Europeans weren't really actually Spanish. Spanish would have probably got up there by then. But like the movie, I had questions about that. I'm like, well, this is supposed to be Plymouth Rock. This is Arizona. Turns out Arizona has they got the filmmaker had good connections out there, tax credits, and they made it work. They had a studio, and if you go north in Arizona, there's very nice, lush trees, and it's wintry. Like it's in the middle of winter, you'll have the biggest snowfalls in America in northern Arizona.
Ooh, okay. So yeah. Doc, I want you to tell us what was your favorite scene filming while you were there.
Oh man, any scene. So there was American Indians there and Pilgrims, right? So it's one guy. He was he'd always go Muckawini, and he was like a freaking, and he was a Yankees fan. It comes back to baseball. Look at that, everyone. Muckawini. And like I was trying to talk to the Indians in this thing, and I'm like, and I just ad-libbed at one point. I'm like, so we were going, and then then we were eating, and I made this stupid sound. It is not supposed to be funny. And
it's not a
and I went, so that is where we must go next. Like I was kind of like, it was interesting. And after they said cut, everyone died laughing. They're like, yeah, don't do that again. That was not good. It's too funny. But yeah, the Macawini guy, he was like actually from New York. He's a big Yankees fan. He's like, you know who Pedro's daddy is, right? The Yankees. Just tell me 26 rings. And I'm like, okay, man, Macawini.
Did he have like his war paint on?
He had war paint.
That? Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's sick.
Red war paint.
What did you get to wear? Did you get to wear anything fun,
bro? Yeah, I was wearing Pilgrim gear. We had Thanksgiving at the end of the movie.
Was it like legit, like what you think of with the black and white tuxedo type deal with a hat? Did you have a hat? A Pilgrim hat?
I had the hat. I had the hat. There were a couple like the hats, and mine was the biggest one. I had a huge hat. Huge big hat energy.
Biggest hat for Doc. All right,
it
Doc.
It looks like it used to be a Doc Holliday hat, and then funny enough, and then they put like the Thanksgiving band around it.
The little white thing.
It's like the
white,
buckle,
right? Oh, the buckle. Yes, the buckle. Oh my goodness. You were like straight in it. I forgot about pilgrims, honestly. I like never think about them. That's when I always think about like back in the day of like the 1600s, it's not pilgrims. I'm thinking of like Revolutionary War. When I think of back in the day, the beginning of I don't even think about anything about America until the Revolutionary War. I'm like, okay, George Washington, let's go.
Yeah, that's like 150 years later. So like
Oh,
that to
totally.
for the equivalent of today is like the Civil War.
Yeah.
Basically, right? That's how far it
It's like
goes.
three, three,
1860s,
four,
87.
four different humans later, like 4 generations later. I don't even think about those people. I think they got a lot of them died and had to get saved. They had to like keep coming back. Like I think Francis Drake had to like save a bunch of people in Roanoke or
Bro,
something like that who were dying.
everyone's favorite thing to do was dying. Everyone died at all times. It was crazy. Like the pioneers. Um, yeah, like so I'm reading about my character William Bradford. Is like, yeah, his first wife died, and then like these kids died, and then like the governor died. So then William Bradford became governor, but then half the colony died. Then Bradford almost died, and like and everyone was all like, and like the stories you'd hear, like the first governor John Carver is like, yeah, he was out there doing some hot work in the field, and then he complained of having a headache, laid down, fell into a deep coma, and then soon passed away. So,
It's like Oregon Trail on steroids.
that's
It's
it.
Oregon Trail on hardest difficulty. All right, so we're gonna actually talk about some baseball here. I actually got to go to a baseball game while you were filming, and I was lucky enough to catch Yuri Perez. So I'm gonna throw some of my video up here because this was his first start back from injury that I get to catch, and he was slated for 1 inning, like pre-start. So I'll throw up. I got like some warm up pitches from him here. I was sitting like right behind the dugout, so you could see it. Like I'm like trying to like let's get this screen out of here, so it looks like I'm like right on the field. But yeah, he's a monster in person. Like he is so tall. It was hilarious watching him stand next to the other players and next to the umpire because for whatever reason, like he and Andrew Painter are both the same size, but he looks way taller than Andrew Painter. I don't
He's
really
2 inches
know why.
taller.
Is he? Is he?
Mhm.
He just looks like way bigger though, like not like 2 inches, like way bigger. But
Yeah.
he
He
topped
might
out at
be.
99. Yeah, he might be. He topped out at 99. He started the game off throwing mostly fastballs. Uh, he is getting a lot of swinging strikes in the slider. Slider looked really good to begin with. The changeup was actually pretty nasty too. The fastball was probably his worst performing pitch, even though it played better. He looked better than Painter did. So it's kind of interesting because I saw Painter last week and then Yuri this week. And like he looked, I think Painter has been healthier for longer, but Yuri looked more like in closer to midseason form. I mean, he only pitched 1 inning. Painter had to pitch 3 when I saw him. But like for whatever reason, he just looked sharper, like crisper as far as the command. So like I think Yuri actually had some tough command at the end of his like last time before he got hurt. So it was good to see that he had some of the command there. But he struck out a couple dudes in 1 inning. He struck out. Here's Josh Cross hitting. He struck him out. Then he struck out Cade McGee, who actually had a pretty big game. So yeah, good stuff from Yuri. You got anything on Yuri coming back here, Doc?
I mean, I just weird. As soon as you started talking about him, I got a trade offer in some CBS league, some insider, some industry league. 3 like real no name prospects. Not even like there must be like one guy looks like he's from overseas. I don't know who these guys are. They must be college guys or like the new draftees. But like not even like the main guys. For three whatever guys for Yuri Perez, and I never rejected anything so hard in my life. I should have kept the names up there. I should have asked you if you knew who they were. It was a quick scan. If I have to guess on who you are not worth Yuri Perez.
Yes.
Spoiler alert. And I know I'm in 30-man leagues with like deep prospects, folks. It's not like I don't know prospects, but yeah, Yuri Perez, you better blow me away because he's going to be blowing batters away. He is just going to be, if healthy. I love the idea of him, Skeens and Painter and Screwball. These guys, maybe Cole Reagan's a little bit, getting these guys is like the arms of a generation. It's a very exciting time.
Yeah, it's good to see him working back like already. I thought he was not going to be pitching until like Like I thought he would be back in the majors in July, but I feel like at this pace he could be back in probably like early or mid June.
May,
Because
late
he
May.
already I mean he's already gotten one inning in. So if you just think of a normal buildup of like 5 starts or something like that, 5-6 starts, like that's usually what guys get in the spring, then yeah, he's probably up in late May, early June, something like that. So it's very possible that we could see that. So it's pretty interesting. Whoever drafted Yuri, if you have Yuri in a league, you're probably going to get way more
TGFBI.
value out of him. Yeah, you're probably going to get way more value out of him than you figured. I mean, it's tough to hold a guy for like another 5-6 weeks in TGFBI. I mean, I've got like Shane McClanahan just like dead on my roster, and I'm like, I can't drop you. And
I've been moving off of them.
I've got like Scherzer, Darvish, and Shane McClanahan all on my TGFBI team with no IL, and I'm like, oh, this sucks, but I can't drop any of you guys. So probably could drop Scherzer really, but whatever. I think he's back. He's probably gonna be back the soonest. Other guys that I saw in this game, Carter Johnson, I saw again. I talked with Blessing about him on Blessing's podcast, The Eyes Have It, last week, and he hit the ball really hard. I don't think he got a hit, but he was hitting the ball really hard the whole time. Andrew Salas was playing second base instead of center field, so that was interesting. Dylan Head played, and Dylan Head actually had a triple, and I didn't get it on video because I was videoing him from the side, and then like one of my kids made me do something, and then right when I like stopped filming, then he hits a triple like the very next pitch, and I'm like, oh, beautiful. So I missed that. And then PJ Morlando, it's the first time I got to catch PJ Morlando. He's a pretty big dude. He kind of looks like Vinny P, like when he's hitting. Lefty, big lefty. He's actually playing in the outfield, but he's kind of got like that Vinny P type stance. That's like what I thought of watching him. I'm like, oh, it's like a bit of a Vinny P look here. Got to see Josh Cross for the first time. He struck out like 3 times. Here he got him 1 time. Cade McGee had a big game. Bases clearing double with bases loaded. He had a steal, I think, too. And then Yordaline Pena is an interesting name for the Cardinals. He's a dude to watch. A lot of swing and miss, but like a lot of power and speed combo for the Cardinals. He's 20 years old, outfielder, and he kind of reminds me of Adolis Garcia. I get like these Adolis Garcia vibes as a Cardinals fan. I'm just like, okay, this is going to be the next guy that is like 24 in AAA for the Cardinals that they like skip on, and then all of a sudden he's a Ray as an all-star or whatever. So I just get those vibes from Yordaline Pena for some reason. Got anything on any of those guys, Doc?
Yeah. So did you align with the Welsh? I know he's huge on PJ Morlando, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes, he is.
Did you see anything that kind of like validated that hype?
Not really, but I mean, it's one view for hitter. You need to see him a few times, I feel like. So not really, no. As far as like what he's gonna do, I don't know. Like I to be honest, I didn't really get that great of a look at him, so I don't know if he's going to be more like an average hitter than like a Gorman, for instance. Because like when I think of Morlando, my first thought of is Nolan Gorman, like a lefty with power, swing and miss, 1 home run derby as a high schooler, whatever. Like I just think of Nolan Gorman because he and Nolan Gorman, when they were both drafted in like the same spot, like middle of the first round, lefties with tons of power and swing and miss. So like I just instantly think PJ Morlando to Nolan Gorman. But will he have that kind of swing and miss, or will he be able to develop a hit tool? Is kind of like the big question with him. And I'll probably see him a few more times this year, and I'll be able to get a better judge on him the more shots I get to see him. Got anything else on any of these guys?
Yeah, my buddy old Bossel pal Ross Jensen over at Scout the Stat Line. He's pretty big on Salas, Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
And I am too. He was like a 16-year-old a month ago, so. It's pretty insane that he's holding his own in pro ball, right? In low A. So it's exciting for him.
Yeah, he's an athlete for sure. Like he just looks he looks older than what he is. Like when you look at him, you're like, oh, he's probably like, if you didn't know who he was and you just watch him play, you're like, oh, this kid's the best player on the team and he's 20. Like you wouldn't know that he's actually only like barely 17.
Yeah, and they're actually born in America. So they're not making up their birth certificates, most likely.
Don't have to watch out for the Salases. So we're going to go to the T10 now, the top 10 prospects for the week. And we will go first to my boy. I'm going to move this over to our, by the way, presented by John Anderson at John PGH. We're going to go to the tableau so we can look at the beautiful stats that Jacob Misiorowski has put up over the last week. So check this out. He had 2 starts this week. Of course, it like loads like right when I move it over. But you could see here in his 2 starts. Oh no, the whole thing just shut down. How about that? If you're listening, you're like, what is he talking about? But if you're on YouTube, you're like, oh, I get it. So anyway, Jacob Misiorowski last week had 2 starts, and in 11 innings pitched, he had 17 strikeouts, 1 walk, only gave up 4 hits. So first off, Doc, Misiorowski, only 1 walk in 11 innings, I feel like is more important than 17 strikeouts in 11 innings. What say you?
Yeah. So what you think you think his entire profile shifted?
Yeah, I actually did a deep dive into Misiorowski, and you could see here's his game log. And what we can do also is look at his arsenal this year. And this is what I noticed. In games where Misiorowski has over a 50% strike rate, those are the games that he pitches really well in. So on like a per game play appearance, if he is throwing more than half of his pitches as strikes, he's going to have a good game. Now, other things that I noticed are that last year he was only throwing the slider 2% of the time, and now he's throwing it 20%. So last year in his pitch mix, 2% slider, this year 20%. The curve was 29% last year, and this year it's only 15%. And you can see if you're looking on the chart on the YouTube, his curveball by swing strike rate is his best pitch. And by CSW, the changeup really outplays it a little bit, but he has only thrown 8 changeups so far this year, so it's hard to say. It's kind of a small sample size on the changeup. But if you're looking at 4-seamer slider curve, his curve is his best pitch. So I feel like because he's throwing it less and throwing the slider more, it's almost just making the curve play up more. The other thing, too, is if you look at this arsenal, Doc, check this out. He's throwing the fastball like 65% of the time. 63.9% of the time. So roughly like 65% of the time. Last year, he was only throwing it, I think, like more like 50% of the time. So these are basically his pitches are the same stuff wise as they were last year. Like if you're looking at his arsenal this year versus last year, but he has changed his pitch mix and is just working better. Whatever he's doing now is working better, and he's throwing more strikes, which is the most important.
He started 5 games out of 6. You think he's going to make it as a starter?
If this continues what he's doing, I do, which, that's always been the question with him, right? Is like, can he keep this up? Because last year he had like a 5 start sample size where the walks were like 2 or less. And I talked about that on Prospect 1. I was like, look at this, 2 or less walks. Like I'm going to show some video actually of his starts right now from X, but you can see like basically he's zipping it in there. He's getting up to like 100 miles per hour in this last start. If you want to check that out, anyone can just go on X or whatever and check that out, like some of his stats and some of his pitches that he did. But he was pretty nasty. You see that curveball kind of like floating in, that fastball just like coming in high and kind of like zipping in there at 100 from that big release point. Like Misiorowski, number 1 this week, like stud. What are your thoughts on him overall? Like where did you have him ranked coming into the season? Because I had him at 55, and I was like, at the beginning of the year, I was kind of scared actually that I had him that high. I was like, I might be the high guy on him at this point now. But the stuff was just so good that I didn't want to move him down from that.
I think people have him pretty high for the most part. I think he's a closer. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think in deeper leagues especially, and like if you're playing with saves only, like no matter what, but especially if you're playing saves only or saves are as a category period with a 30-team league like I'm in, eventually you get to a point where like, man, I got to make sure I get my closers. And I have my closers in a 30-man league right now. And I'm winning saves and holds every single week. And it's really nice to have 2 categories locked in. And they're usually, going to help your ratios. And so to have like the next big thing, like to have a Mason Miller coming up, people act like it's a death knell. Like, it sucks for him. You're not going to make it. It's like, if he's a starter, I think we're going to have a longer road ahead of us, just because still looking at about roughly a 4.9 walks per nine, whereas last year he was closer to 5 or 6, right? So hey, he could be making progress, but I'm anticipating that number spiking again a little when he gets to the big leagues. We'll see if he can get away with it if they try him out as a starter. It seems like they're trying him out as a starter. So anyway, I think his stuff is undeniable. But
yeah. I mean, they've got Uribe and they've got Yoho, so I feel like they should just try it. And we've been here with the Brewers before. Like Hader was a starter and Corbin Burns was a starter. And then at one point, both of them moved to the bullpen. But Corbin Burns figured out the control, started throwing the fastball less and went on the cutter. And that's what made Burns. So I think like if he can keep this kind of progress and limiting the walks, then for sure you throw him out there as a starter. Like, because if he actually figures it out, like he could be like the Brewers' Tyler Glasnow, right? Because like Glasnow had these kind of issues when he was coming out with the Pirates. So it's figure out a bowl, and the Brewers did it with Corbin Burns. So can they repeat that, or does he fall into Josh Hader? And if he's Josh Hader, that's still awesome. So it's like, who cares? Number 2 on the T10, we have Marcelo Mayer. Is he a Mayer or a Meyer to you?
Let's find out. Noble Meyer, Max Mayer. Isn't that hilarious? I think I have Max Meyer. I think I go back and forth with him. Marcelo Mayer. Marcelo Meyer. Marcelo, I think he's a Mayer. I think maybe with the A, it's A is Ayer, and then E is Iyer.
Yes, I agree. I like that. A means Mayer. So this week, Marcelo Mayer, 8 for 21 with 4 extra base hits and 3 bombs, and that was before Sunday. And then on Sunday, he hit another tater. So that's 4 homers over the week for Marcelo Mayer, who last year only had 8 home runs in 77 games the whole season. So if this power is for real, Doc, like, are people sleeping on him? Because I feel like the hit tool has always been there for him. The plate skills have always been there. And like the whole thing was like, he's almost like maybe a better Jacob Wilson, like Jacob Wilson with more power. But like, if he's going to have even more power than that, like if he could be like 25 homer power, that's pretty solid. Like right now this season, Doc, he has a 107.4 90th percent EV, which is pretty darn good. And then he's got a 92.2 average EV and a 14.5% barrel rate. So are you buying this development of Marcelo Mayer power, or do you think it's just a hot streak?
I've always kind of had a soft spot for him as just like, he'll probably be like a good, maybe boring, but like solid major leaguer, which is not easy to do, right? And so, as you're saying, seeing these EVs, average EVs of 92 and max EV of 111, it's like, that's nice. He's hitting the ball pretty hard. He's always had a nice swing. I will say his contact percentage is way up this year. Looking at 2023, he had a 72.4 contact percentage. Last year, 73%. This year, almost 79%. It's way up. And his zone, which you don't have measurements for that below AAA, but his zone contact right now is 87.7, basically 88% zone. Really good number. You definitely love that. So yeah, I mean, will this continue is the question. Regardless, though, it's like he just needs to stay healthy, keep developing, and I think this is a guy. Like, maybe we see him by the end of 2025, and I'm not sure if anyone's really expecting that. Like, or maybe he's not being treated like that in fantasy.
Yeah, he's mashing righties right now. You see that on the splits? He is 5 homers against righties, and look at this batted ball distribution here. Look at all these batted balls over 90. It's pretty sick what he's doing right now. This is one of the cool things you can see on John's thing. You can actually even see like by the day, like what he was doing. So you see he's doing really well as far as like his StatCast data, a lot better than previously. So like, I don't know. I'm kind of buying this power uptick. I just think that, like, I don't know if it taps out. Like, I don't think he's a guy that could reach like 30, but I think could be a mid-20s homer guy. and that makes him a lot more fantasy viable if you have a 280 hitter with 25 bombs and maybe throws in 8 steals or whatever like that. Like, pretty solid player.
It's like a solid Hunter Pence.
Yeah. or maybe a Dansby Swanson with a better batting average.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you want to stick with shortstop,
stick with shortstop.
I mean, I think he might be a little better than Dansby Swanson, more consistent, we'll say.
Yeah. So number 3 here, this is a super interesting dude. Let me pull him up on the thing here. We're not actually we're gonna get like 0 data from him, so there's no point. I'll throw some video up on him for a second if you're watching. But my number 3 is starting pitcher Gage Jump with the Athletics, and I feel like I'm gonna have a different Athletics pitcher on here, and they're gonna be high A or low A. I'm gonna have a different Athletics pitcher on here every week because that's the way it's working out right now. But Gage Jump was a second rounder out of LSU in 2024. This week he had 6 2/3 inning with 13 strikeouts. 0 walks, 0 ERA, 0.45 WHIP. And he has a 33.9 CSW on the season now. And this is a lefty who has a high 90s fastball. I actually watched the quick version of his game where he did this, and the stadium gun that they showed on the viewing on the TV, right, actually had him hit 100 a couple times from the left side. But he's got a big fastball, like 97 to 100. Very nice ride. Really slick 84 to 85 mile per hour slider. Nice curve too that breaks vertically. It's an 81 mile per hour curve. I think Gage Jump could be a pretty quick riser. And I feel like the Athletics are just a completely different organization. This is not the joke Athletics of like 2 years ago or even like last year. And everyone's like, stay. It's like whatever they're drinking, whatever water they've got in Sacramento is like, it's like holy water compared to like whatever swamp water or whatever, or I don't really know, but like whatever the Athletics are doing right now is working. And I'm like all in on their development system. I feel like that they've proven right now that they are drafting well and developing really well the last like 2-3 years. So like they did something, changed something that is really nice. What do you think about Gage Jump and the Athletics in general, Doc?
Well, a couple different things. One, Gage Jump was one of these guys before he got a $2 million signing bonus despite getting selected. No, he got selected pretty early on, actually, 73rd overall pick. So yeah, he was on my radar as a lefty, a little undersized, made me take a step back with him. 6 feet tall, not really how you design him in a lab, but I would say this: the A's are doing things correct with the batters. I would say, and to jump back actually with Jacob Wilson and Marcelo Mayer, I will say, I think Jacob Wilson's hit tool's way up here. It's a different person, but with Gage Jump, he's a pitcher for the A's.
Did you pitch? Yeah. That's the fastball up.
Check this out.
Yeah, I mean,
it just laser.
Sometimes these shorter pitchers, you can make a profit on them in fantasy leagues because scouts and guys like me will kind of ignore them a little bit more, right? They have to earn our trust a little bit more. 6 feet, you can make it happen at 6 feet tall. It's not that crazy. But and Sonny Gray, 5'10".
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's like with the A's in general, their pitching is not like their batting. They have not shown us enough evidence yet that they're turning the corner there. So I would put that up as a red flag. But Gage Jump, yeah, he was on my radar. And I think a lot of people's radar. Finally, Kerry Carpenter hit a dang home run. He was sucking. Just got a little notification. Gosh, have him so many places. But yeah,
that's why I was saying the Athletics. If you're looking like A-ball or high A, that's like really where I want to be looking at their guys. I feel like that they maybe, I don't know if they hired like a new pitching scouting director or something, or like draft coordinator or whatever. But for whatever reason, these pitchers that they're bringing in, they've got these guys from Taiwan right now in A-ball who are both killing it. So I think like whatever they're doing with these newer guys they're bringing in, they're just doing a much better job. But Gage Jump just looked amazing. So he makes T3 here on our rankings for this week. Number 4 is a repeat. Jack Weniger. I'm not going to go too much into him, but this guy has been so good that I have to bring him up again. This week, Doc, he had 5 innings with 10 Ks and 1 walk, 0 ERA. The dude is just a big dude. I mentioned that before. He looks like a hockey player, like wide shoulders, or like an old, like early 2000s Roy Halladay type pitcher, Chris Carpenter type pitcher, just like big shoulders, long legs, powers it in there with a mid-90s fastball. Like he throws a splitter that's really sick. Like you got to, like the splitter is like the pitch this year too. So like when you hear a splitter or nowadays, you're just like, ooh, sexy splitter, right? So like, he's got a 37% CSW on the season in 20 innings right now. So Jack Wenninger with the Mets, AA pitcher. He's just a high riser for me. And I think you mentioned last time when we talked about him that someone else was on him too. So I don't know. He just keeps doing it over and over.
Yeah, that was Trevor. I think his name is Huth. I forget how to say his last name, but Trevor Huth with Prospects Live, one of my new homes. I'm with Scout the Stat Line and also Prospects Live. And Trevor Huth is a real good speaker. He got a radio voice. And yeah, he was talking about Jack Wenninger. So we'll see. I'm just checking my leagues out, and he's not owned in one. That's interesting. And a few of these leagues, it's like makes me happy that we do it so you have to wait until the next offseason for any prospects unless they debut, which I don't think. I mean, you never know. But once you're at AA, you never know. But probably going to be a guy who's going to like sneak up there if he keeps his current pace, right? Be like a first rounder and a 30-teamer, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, Tidwell's definitely going to get first shot for the Mets when they need someone, I think. But you can't deny like what he's doing. Like every start, 7 Ks, 2 walks, 9 Ks, 1 walk, 6 Ks, 1 walk, 10 Ks, 1 walk. So you just like great control with a bunch of Ks. That's exactly what you want from a starter. So you can't go wrong with that. What we're going to do next, we're going to go to T5 here as my computer just fell asleep. We're going to go to second baseman Cooper Kinney with the Rays, who are just like a completely loaded organization. So back to hitter, 11 for 26 this week with 6 extra base hits, Doc, and 3 homers. And Kinney was 34th overall pick in 2021. So 2021, 34th overall pick, dealt with injuries. He like never had a full season, like half season. And this year, he has been more aggressive in the zone, and that has led to more power for Mr. Cooper Kinney. Because last year he only had 5 home runs over half of a season. I mean, I think he had 10 home runs over half a season. He's already up to 5 now this year. You have anything on Cooper Kinney with the Rays?
I think I remember him in, again, like one of these like 30-team leagues. But I never really got super drawn in. I will say, though, 10 home runs in 23. And that was in 121 games. And then in 87 games, he hit 10 home runs again. It's like, okay, well, that's a power increase at a higher level. He also doubled his stolen bases. And this year already to be at 5 in 17 games. This could be one of those situations where, he's just developing and slowly getting his power together. 22 years old. He's got the same birthday as me. I like that.
Nice.
January 27th. Same birthday as myself and Matt Morris. We have the same birthday.
Ooh, nice.
Weird.
Yeah. He's got a nice size too for a second baseman. So you like to see that. Usually second basemen are short little dudes, but he's he's listed at 6'1", and when you 200 pounds, and when you see him, you're like, oh yeah, that's actually probably accurate. That's probably not like a fake height. He's got a big build with big reach, and I kind of like that. I like the bigger middle infielders. Like I like my Carlos Correa type build middle infielders. Just don't hurt the lower back. Don't go to no massages here. But the one thing that I see with him is he's got a really big leg kick that might turn into an issue later when you're getting like really good pitchers like just drilling you in the zone with 100 miles an hour. I feel like the leg kick is, I don't know if that's going to like delay his swing too much and he's just going to get behind on that kind of stuff. But you can see I pull up his player page and he's hitting 353, 405, 676 on the season. And he's just absolutely mashing righties. 383 batting average against righties right now. While he actually has more home runs against lefties, 3 home runs and only 25 plate appearances against the lefties. So he's not a split guy. Like he's hitting both sides of the plate here, but just destroying the righties at a 383 average as a lefty himself. So you see he's doing some good things. So I think Cooper Kinney is a guy to watch because a lot of the times when a first or second round pick gets like the first couple of years, they're not producing right out of the gate. You kind of write them off. Like you get prospect fatigue on this because who's the next shiny toy? And you go to the next one. But I feel like this is one of those shiny toy, like guy who was drafted, could have been a shiny toy, disappeared, had some injuries for a couple of years, and now he's kind of back. And he's still young. He's still 22. So that's the main thing. It's not like he's like 25 doing this. He's still 22. Number 26, Doc, is one of your boys, or number 26. Number 6 is one of your boys, Robbie Snelling with the Marlins. He was one of your homies here, one of your Huckleberries, I think a couple weeks ago, but he just keeps doing it. Like, what are you seeing from Mr. Robbie Snelling? What are you liking so far on him?
Well, I haven't checked back since then. But so we're gonna do that like literally live on air. But what I liked last time I checked in, he seems to be working on a mustache. That was a huge thing for me. But no, yeah, he's doing exactly what he was doing. This is great. Yeah, 11.7 strikeouts per 9, 1.2 walks per 9. I mean, come on. Like last year, his strikeouts were ticking down. With the San Diego organization, down to like 8 strikeouts per 9, 4 walks per 9. I'm like, oh gosh. And again, I'm projecting that to the to Major League Baseball, right? Like, what's it gonna be? I think it's gonna be like a 5 or 6 strikeouts per 9, and those it looks ugly. And you can see that he started finding his groove with Miami a little bit to end the year, but now he's really turning a corner. And so I'm excited to see what he's bringing to the table. Someone who was formerly a very high-end prospect, lost a lot of shine.
That's just the Padres. The Padres are terrible at developing. Like, they're good at finding guys, but they're terrible at developing them.
Someone once said, I just gotta say it because someone once said, I'm not sure if this is true or not, they're good at developing prospect brand.
They are. I mean, they definitely are. And then what they need to do is, like, for their really good prospects, they just promote them so fast that the minor league coaches can't screw them up. Like Jackson Merrill, they're just like, just get him to Mike Schilt. Like, don't let those other guys mess with him. Get him to Mike Schilt as quick as possible. But Snelling this year so far, Doc, in 22 1/3 innings, he has a 30.6 K- walk rate, a 34% CSW, a 161 ERA, and a 0.9 WHIP. And this is the big difference. We are seeing major upticks from Snelling, who is still only 21 years old this year. So again, like, don't let one bad year knock all the shine off of some of these prospects. But Snelling last year was throwing his fastball 93. You know what he's throwing at this year, Doc? 95 to 97. So he's up at least 2 ticks on the fastball, if not 3. The other thing too is that's not just the fastball. It's the same thing on all his pitches. His changeup was 86 last year, and this year he's hitting 88, 89 on the changeup. And the slider is also up from 81 last year to 83 this year. So he's pretty much on his 3 major pitches, fastball, slider, changeup. He's up 2 ticks on average on each of them. And the fastball is more like 3 ticks, even like topping 97 from the left side. So I'm pretty big on Snelling, man. I think like the Marlins are just one of those teams that are really good at developing pitchers. They have no idea how to develop hitters, but they're really good at developing pitching. It's like the opposite athletics, kind of like what you were saying. It's like opposite athletics here. Just merge them, and then you got one good team. But yeah, I like what Snelling's doing there, and I think that for me, he's definitely in the top 100 prospects now. Like next ranking that I do, like he's for sure in the top 100, maybe like top 75. Like 2 years ago, I had him as like a number 35 or number 40 or something.
Yeah.
So, like I was really
why would he not be top 50 now then? Because he's more proximal. Now it's more real.
Yeah, he probably should be theoretically. I'm kind of leaning toward like ranking less pitchers up high, just because pitcher injury can really like knock a guy down. Like Quinn Matthews, just like injured, okay, major stall. So like
he's coming back though.
Yeah, he is. I just feel like hitters are a little safer. So I'm like more I guess back 2 years ago, I just see a lot of pitchers here in Jupiter, and I fall in love with them because I see them live, and I'm like, oh, this guy's sick, and I like want to rank him really high. So I'm like throwing all these pitchers in my top 100, like more than most people have. But I'm trying to like go against my own bias now by doing that, and like hopefully I don't lean too hard the other direction in my next ranking. But that's just something I'm doing. As my T10 has like 10 pitchers here, because number 7 is another pitcher, and we have to be careful with this one, Doc. It's really easy to say wrong name here. Starting pitcher Cam Schlittler. There's an L in there. Schlittler with the Yankees, who's in Double-A. Yeah. What do you know? Have you heard of Cam Schlittler, Doc?
Well, as far as I'm aware, he loves painting, and really has big dreams of annexing Austria one day and just taking it from there. At 6'6", who's going to tell him no, right? He's a big guy. So I think that Mr. Cam, don't call me Adolf, Schlittler is, we went on the nose. We hit it on the nose. He danced around the joke. And then we just in case someone didn't get it, just in case someone was like, what is he talking about?
Harder.
Austria and painting. And I'm like, okay, well. And if you still don't get it, I mean, come on. Log off. But
this is a mustache podcast here. Come on.
Yeah, I was gonna work a mustache joke in there. Yeah. Gotta watch how he grows it. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I'm seeing here. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know a lot about him, but I love these big, righties. He's heavy on his fastball. I actually have heard some people talk about him. It looks like he had a really rough go at AAA. That's a really weird inning, 1.2 innings last year.
It's one blip.
It looks really funny though on Fangraphs, like 16.2 K9, 21.6 walks 9. Like, what? Yeah. So I mean, he got some strikeouts. He's got some command. He's kind of one of those guys who could just, kind of next thing you know, he's in the big leagues. He's 24 years old. I mean, he's not on your list, I don't think, but maybe I'll talk about him after Ryan Gusto. Like just these guys you like, where did you come from? Right. Maybe Schlittler will be one of those guys. We'll see if he does well in New York. With a name like that, that's gonna be easy fodder for the hecklers. But he could be one of those guys who just comes up and he's pitching. I mean, again, if you're in Double-A and you got a big body, he was in Triple-A last year. It's not crazy to imagine this guy coming up at the very least, like old school, put him in the bullpen for a second. If got some injuries affecting New York, maybe he comes up for a little bit, does well. It's like, okay, you can stay. And then he keeps doing well. Okay, I guess he's a big leaguer now.
Yeah, they don't have much depth like behind Will Warren. It's like, what do you got? And Stroman, whoever the last guy is in there. But he's up a tick too. He was starting 95 last year. He's like sitting 95 to 97 this year. So I guess you'd probably average that around 96. 85 mile per hour slider. That's really nice. I like it. Pretty nasty 83 to 84 mile per hour curve too. And then he also has a cutter that he works in there. But 7th rounder making some gains, man. You gotta love that. Like when you're like usually baseball, it's like 1st round, 2nd rounder, don't even talk to me, right? Or international prospector, don't even talk to me. But we're seeing a lot of these pitchers who are just 6th rounders, 7th rounders, 8th rounders, like George Klassen last year, Casey Hunt. So you're getting all these guys who are drafted like way later. And I feel like that's the game. Like if I was a team, if I'm a GM, I'm drafting hitter 1st and 2nd round, and then just like throwing darts at pitchers all over the place. Give me the big guys who can add velo and just do that way. What we're seeing from Schlittler this year is a improvement on the command, which is really playing him up. Last year, he had a 10.6 walk rate, which led to a 127 whip. This year, he's at a 6.1% walk rate. So he's down 4.5% on the walk rate, which is bringing him to a 0.82 whip. So besides adding a tick on the fastball, the big thing for him is just way better command this year. So that's what I like about Cam Schlittler, who this week had 7 innings pitched, which you love that. That's like a big thing in the minors. It's like a lot of guys are only throwing like 3-4 innings, whatever. Like he's already up to 7 innings this early in the season with 9 Ks and a walk. 123 ERA on the season with a .82 whip. Just like really good stuff from Cam Schlittler here, who could make an impact at some point this season. Number 8 here. This is like take it to the bank. Leo DeVries, right? I mean, he hit for the cycle with 2 home runs in a game this week. Like he had to make this list. Just that one game like automatically gets you on the list because that one game he had, it did 4 extra base hits or whatever, 4 extra base hits. So this week he was 9 for 19, 6 extra base hits, 2 bombs, and a steal. So I know a lot of what he did was all in the one game, but I think he only played 5 games this week. Leo, besides doing that, the one thing I wanted to note about Leo this year is he's improved his contact rate off of last year. He has improved his contact rate 4% from last year up to 77%, which is very fair with a guy of that with those tools. Like if he's at 77% contact rate with the power speed combo that he has, that's good. Like you'll bank that all day. What do you got on Leo here, especially as an 18-year-old at high A?
Who do you take, Jesus Made or Leo DeVries?
DeVries.
Why?
He's done. He's a year ahead, man. Like I think they could be similar. Made might have a little bit better of a hit tool than DeVries, but I think DeVries is going to be higher upside on the power speed. I'll take it. Like my comp on Leo DeVries is switch hitting Alfonso Soriano. So like,
nice.
Soriano is a fun player, man. I know he had some contact problems. And like his bad years were kind of like Baez-ish. Like you got a little bit of like Baez is like the ultimate the one good year of Soriano, and then just like the terribleness that you could have get from Soriano and the bad streaks extrapolated to like times 10. So hopefully you get more Soriano than Javi Baez with Leo DeVries. But I think we've got a really fun player coming.
Yeah, so DeVries I heard he might be a little shorter than 6'1", might be 5'11" or something like that. I don't think it really matters if that's true or not. But yeah, I think we got someone here. I think you might be right with the Made thing. Made's only 6 months younger. It's like Leo's older by just a little bit, but yeah, he's doing it at a higher level. And we're seeing something consistent here. We're seeing a profile emerge again. I think you're right. Like, is this a hit first maybe profile? Probably not, but it doesn't really matter. Like he's taking a walk, or actually, he's taking a walk to some extent, but you got to look at his, he's got the strength, he's got some speed. I think he's going to put it together here. He's only 18 years old at high A. It'll be a big year if he can actually stay healthy the whole year and build on what he did last year with 11 and 13 home runs, stolen bases. It's like we could have some fun. It's exciting. Yeah. I mean, I'm not ready to crown him a number 1 overall prospect yet, but he's definitely like we're getting closer.
I think we're going to get some 30 years out of him. He's going to be
people want to do that. People want to put him number 1 already.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Actually, the guy that we're going to talk about next is number 9 on the T10. It's Sebastian Walcott. I like Walcott actually better than DeVries. But this is what we got out of Walcott last week. 7 for 21 with 6 walks, 2 extra base hits, 1 homer, and 4 steals, which is the thing that I really wanted to highlight about Walcott. He had 27 steals last year, but 4 steals in 1 week. He's really pushing the speed here early this season. So that's what I like to see. Also, Walcott, I think better eye, worse hit tool than DeVries. 16% walk rate right now this year. 282, 409, 451 slash from Walcott as a 19-year-old at AA. Pretty sick there for Mr. Sebastian Walcott. What do you think about Walcott? And I think you're DeVries over Walcott, aren't you?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't put out a list. I was going to put out a list right around in the middle of spring training, but I had this thing called moving my family across the country all of a sudden. And so, it just like didn't happen. And so, but the last version I did, I was lower on him than like the entire industry. I didn't realize at the time he was like 18 years old. I was kind of judging him a little bit harshly for his hit tool, but I'm like, gosh, I mean, they are advancing him pretty fast, and he's doing okay. Right now, he's at AA as a very fresh 19-year-old, so he could struggle right now. and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. He's doing well. He's doing really well. I like the Texas Rangers, so that'll be good. And I saw him play some shortstop. He can play shortstop. He'll probably stick there. So it's exciting. I'm probably higher on Walcott at
Yeah,
this
big
point.
dude
So
too, 6'4". So I mean, like bigger
I gotta
body
get him up.
means he can
I
grow
gotta
into
get him
more
up.
power. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I just think he's got a really good eye, especially for that age at that level. Like it's not quite like Andrew Salas what he's doing at 17. I think Salas.
No, it's better. It's better. He's doing a double-A, brother.
Yeah, he's doing a double-A. It probably is better, especially for a big dude, especially for being 6'4". It's hard to have that kind of walk rate at that age with that size. Because I feel like if I was 6'4" and if I was as good as Walcott, I would just want to crush. I would have no patience. I would be like, no, I'm here to crush baseballs. I'm not here to walk. Like, get out of here. Like I'm here to mash. That's having, but then again, that's me. So, well, Sebastian Walcott has a lot more patience than I do. We're going really super heavy on like the big names here at the end. We had Leo DeVries number 8, Sebastian Walcott number 9, and we got the talk of the town number 10 here, shortstop Luis Pena with the Brewers. And you're getting the whole Pena versus Mate thing all over the internet right now. But Luis Pena, 6 for 18 this week with 4 extra base hits, 1 homer, and 2 steals. Pena already has 12 steals this season, which is pretty insane. He's one of the biggest risers so far this year as far as like moving up rankings. He's hitting 333, 409, 491, which is just absolutely insane. I think he could translate to like 20 homer, maybe 25 homer potential. And he looks exactly like frickin' lefty Ozzy Albies in the box, but a little bit bigger. Like if you watch him hit, like same exact stance. Like I don't know if he just like is an Ozzy Albies fan and like copied his stance when he's a kid. When he's a young kid, he's still a young kid, but that's kind of like what he looks like. And I think like with the batted ball profile that Luis Pena has right now, you got like a Jacob Wilson with speed. What are you loving about some Luis Pena right now?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's one of these guys where like I just don't know what to make of them. Right, I'm almost always going to be the last guy to these players, because coming out of the DSL, I have no idea what to do with DSL numbers. First of all, because you'll have guys who have the have tons of homers and tons of stolen bases and great ratios, and then they just have no idea how to make it in pro ball. I think Pena was basically on nobody's radar for the most part coming into this season, but he's crushing it out. He actually in DSL with Dominican League, he had 39 stolen bases last year. It's fantastic on terrible pitching. But this year, I mean, it is carrying over. Low A through 13 games has 12 stolen bases. We don't even care about the 1 home run. That's like, okay, whatever. I mean, I'll probably come later. His contact rates are improved from the DSL from 78 to 83.5. I think with a DSL, you also can't really, I'm not sure if they have the best contact data, you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. But I will say 83.5 as an 18-year-old pro ball. It's like, all right, man, there's something here. And I think every single league I'm in, he's already gone. But yeah, he's definitely like the new, if you were looking for the next Jesus Mate, he's already picked up.
He's so much different though. Everyone wants to comp him to Mate, but they're so much different. Like Pena, if you like look at his profile, 10.6% walk rate, 7.6% K rate. That's a Jacob Wilson or Steven Kwan like profile as far as like hit tool. So he's more of like a hit first plus speed guy.
Yeah, he doesn't strike out. 7.6 strikeout rate is hilarious.
Yeah. Whereas Mate is more like, I feel like super tools out. Like he's going to be more like the higher end fantasy skill set because people were like, oh, Pena or Mate. I think Mate is your higher end prospect here, but Pena is going to be super safe. And he's a dude who could just kill points leagues like Jacob Wilson right now. If you have Jacob Wilson in points leagues, you're laughing at people who had like, the power speed guys or whatever, because Wilson is better in points leagues than them. Than like your standard 240 shortstop who's power speed, like Carson Williams, for instance. Like if you have Jacob Wilson, you're just laughing at Carson Williams owners right now. But Luis Pena is going to have that type of profile where he's going to be super safe, super hit first, plus 6 doubles so far in the season. So there may be more power to come once he grows into it. And I have one more for you here, Doc. I've got a honorable mention here. This is the hero of the World Series, Dylan Dreiling with the Rangers, who's in high A right now. 8 for 16 this week with 3 extra base hits, 1 bomb, 2 stolen bases. And right now in the season, he's got a 295, 405, 459 slash with 6 extra base hits, 2 bombs, 4 steals. This was the Rangers' second-round pick last year out of Tennessee. Like I said, he was World Series MVP. Really good plate skills and just killer contact rate. He's got an 85% contact rate on the season this year. So, out of all these guys that we've talked about, he has the best contact rate. Like, it's not quite JJ Weatherholt, but I think that he's a super underrated guy. I feel like the Rangers maybe stole him in the second round because he looks like better than last year. He looks like he gained bat speed. Like if you look at his swing last year when he was in college at Tennessee versus his swing now, even though he had an aluminum bat in college, his bat speed looks faster with the wood bat. And the dude is a gamer too. I mean, he's a winner. So what do you think about Dreiling?
Well, I didn't think too much about him. He's been one of those guys who I've been like, oh, who? But looking at his numbers, I like it. He had an 89% contact rate last year. He got still in the 80s. Looking pretty solid. He's got that prospect pedigree. Plays for a good organization in Texas. A lefty bat. Yeah, I mean, I guess we're going to see what happens with him. I want to see where he's owned at in my leagues. We'll see. This will be a good indicator of how hyped he was coming into the year. Yeah, okay, so there's been some people. He's gone in all my leagues. That's pretty insane, except for like the really shallow one. Anyway, yeah, Matt, I'm a freaking geek when Dylan Dreiling is unavailable in all leagues. So, yeah. Hey, I guess the cat's out the bag. I thought you were like uncovering a hidden gem here. Maybe you are to most normal people.
Yeah, 30 teamers are definitely crazy people a little bit, but yeah, I mean, like he's 22, so he's not like a 24-year-old out of college too. 147 WRC plus. This guy's chase rate is like nothing. His swing strike rate is like nothing. Like the one thing that I think about here with him that I have to worry about is it like hopefully he's not like Evan Carter, just like going to do the Evan Carter thing and suck against lefties. Because if you look at his splits right here that are on the screen, if you're watching on YouTube, which I do recommend, but if you're just listening and you're not on the YouTube, he has a 37% K rate right now against lefties in 20 at bats. While he's still hitting for a high average and he's still walking against them, his strikeout rate is pretty bad against lefties. I mean, it's only 19 plate appearances, so it's a small sample size. But like just watching how Evan Carter was like awesome and then it was terrible against lefties. And same organization, same thing, lefty outfielder. I'm like, hopefully he doesn't fall back into that Evan Carter trap that we just saw Carter do. And hopefully he can get his way out of that. And this is just a small sample size issue on those strikeouts. So, Doc, unless you have anything else on Dreiling here, let's hear your Huckleberries for the week.
Yeah, man, I'm pretty friggin' exhausted. I only flew in from Arizona last night, so I'll just leave it to 2 Huckleberries. One of them's Caleb Bonham, and he's a guy who got a $3 million signing bonus above slot. As a 43-year-old, 43 overall pick in last year's draft for the Chicago White Sox. So you're gonna hear White Sox, you're gonna run away. He's a prep guy out of Michigan, so not a ton of hype around him, but clearly they're believing in him. Interesting thing is he's not supposed to run; he's supposed to just be a power over hit guy. Well, what's happening so far is he's running a lot. He's got 7 stolen bases already. And I'm like, okay. And he's also taking a good amount of walks, and he is not really striking out. It's like, okay, so tell me this. When the power over hit guy is doing everything but hit for power, it's like, that's exciting, right? And he's a prep kid. This is what I aim for, is these value prep kids where you have no data on them. But it's like not like the DSL. I actually trust the scouting, right? Because we have so much more access to good scouting from these American kids in the system. And so, I think people have the attraction to go for the freak athlete, like I want that next Mata, the next Acuna, but like the DSL, yeah, it's high risk, high reward, but high risk. And it's not like the prep kids in America can't bust, but I just kind of try to zig when other people are zagging. I'm like, oh, you want to give me Caleb Bonnermer in like the 3rd to 5th round of a 30-teamer? It's like, okay, FYPD. Okay, like let's do it. And hey, small sample size, but it's getting less small every day. I like what I'm seeing here. He's they're giving him shortstop reps predominantly, but some third base is creeping in as well, which some people do believe will be his final landing spot. He's got a 313 average and a 446 OBP so far. I love the surface stats there too. They're backing it up. So have you? I know that I had Eric Cross on the show. I don't know. I want to take credit because he's the only other guy who was kind of high on Bonnermer that I could think of heading into the season. And I could have sworn I talked him into him on our show. So I don't know if he's listening, Eric Cross. You might have already known about him, but if he's not listening, I got Eric Cross on a Caleb Bonnermer. It's official if he's not listening.
I love Bonnermer, dude. I think he's one of the more interesting hitters in A-ball right now. Like one of the better A-ball. There's a lot of good pitchers in A-ball, but I feel like he's one of like the really good hitters in A-ball right now. This last year's draft was 2024 draft is going to go down. I think is like one of the better drafts. And it's funny because going in, everyone was like, "Oh, 2024 draft sucks compared to 2023," but I feel like it's actually going to go down as like one of the better draft classes of all time. It's a pretty sick draft class, and like second round is underrated. Like you got Dason Hill and Caleb Bonnermer in the second round, like that. Like there are like a lot of really good. I think didn't Sloan fall in the second round? Even he wasn't even the first rounder, wasn't he? A second rounder with the Mariners, like. Just insane
like
guy.
that.
Yeah, just insane guy. So
Luke Dickerson was the other guy. And he was Caleb Bonnermer was my fallback guy. Dickerson hasn't played yet. I think they're putting him in complex or something.
So who are you going with then? Bonnermer or Luis Pena?
That's interesting. I would like if fantasy purposes, I'd take Pena and then sell him for like Bonnermer and more, because Pena's got that hype around him. But long term, I mean, I kind of like what Bonnermer's doing. So I don't know, right? It's tough.
Yeah, nice.
It's tough. I mean, that's just not a situation. It's just not realistic based on the value right now. Like Pena is just so much. He's just that next guy, according to the industry and the market. So I don't have to worry about making that decision. But I would pick, if I saw both free agents, I would pick up Pena, and worst case scenario, I sell him for a nice haul.
I think Bonnermer is going to have ultimately a better power profile, which depending on your fantasy league, it can play a bit better. Like if you're in points, I'd probably go Pena, but like in most leagues, I'm probably going Bonnermer just because I want that power speed upside and bigger frame. So who is your last Huckleberry, Doc?
Oh, you may have heard of him. I hyped him up, all last offseason, not this offseason, the offseason before. Brock Wilken. I had him like above Dylan Cruz at one point by a slot. And people have been inclined to say, forget about him. He's done. There's no chance for Brock Wilken. Didn't make any sense to me. I mean, he got smashed in the face with the ball. Like he had a pretty good debut in 2023. Actually, yeah, it's been a couple of years now. Pretty good debut. Right after being drafted. And then 2024, he got smashed in the face, broke all his bones in his face. Probably got some kind of concussion. Like I'm probably messing with your eye a little bit too. Like I don't know, man.
Sure.
It doesn't seem right. And so, he just wasn't the same after that. Still blasted 17 bombs, but he's got freakish power. The thing is, I always liked Brock Wilken because I saw an ability to take walks. I saw an eye. I saw more than just a hack and slash kind of guy. Like I didn't think that was his profile. He's got a really weird profile right now. This year. It's like, it's not perfect, but it's like he needs to, it's hopeful, I guess. He's got, 29% K rate. We don't like that, but he's got 26% walk rate. Like, and it's been like that for a while now. It's 21 games in, got 3 home runs. He stole a base. Okay. But I think it's very interesting. He's got a 179 batting average, like yuck, but then 409 OBP. This is a guy who tinker a little, right? Tinker a little so he can find that level of aggression hunting those pitches. and go out there and just trade off some of that OBP for some average. Be a 230, 250, 230, 240 batting average guy, but like 320 plus OBP. I'm playing conservative, right? And then hit, he's got this is legitimate 40 plus power in that bat. The question is going to be how can he get there? His contact rates aren't disgusting. They're in the 70s, right? So it's like not ideal, but who he is, like, yeah, he's just got a good head on his shoulders. I like him as a person. And yeah, I think this will be a big year for his value, but I think it's a great buy low. I think a lot of people have written him off, but like the fact that he's walking like this shows that he's got an ability to see pitches, man.
Yeah, I think he's got kind of like a Max Muncy type vibe going on. He's a righty though, and a righty should not have a 243 BABIP. You know what I mean? Like that's really weird for a righty to have that low of a BABIP. So I think that that's something that's going to like regress back to the mean. Maybe he's not a 300 BABIP guy. He's not super fast, but like probably 280 or something like that is not unreal. So if you up his batting average by 30 points, give him a little more luck, like he should be probably 230, 240 hitter, not 179 or whatever, with good OBP. Because like you said, he walks. One of the things that I see in this profile that I don't like though is the swing rate is only 31%. Like this dude needs to get more aggressive. He's got too much.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's good. Sorry to cut you off, but like he just needs to find a level of aggression. Go on. Sorry.
Yeah. He's got to get a little Davison de los Santos in this profile. Don't go full Davison, just go little Davison. And there we go. Right. Just get a little.
It's exciting though, but this is way better because with Davison, I'm not interested like at all because it would be it's so much more rare to see the free swinging maniac find an amazing eye, all of a sudden. Whereas like, okay, we've seen situations where a guy like Wilkin, like, oh, he's too patient. It's like, no, we can work with that. And when if you get him making contact more often, swinging that bat more often, it's exciting. And we'll see what happens. It's going to be, this is a guy where I think there's like one tweak away and he'll just end up blasting a ton of homers. Stock will go through the roof. He will be on the Brewers by the end of the season if he does that anytime soon.
Here's the real comp, not Max Muncy. We're gonna go with Eugenio Suarez.
Okay, I don't know though. Does Suarez take a walk? I don't think he does. I'm pretty sure he doesn't at all.
He can, but he's got a bad batting average. He's a righty third baseman with a ton of power. So I don't know. It's funny though. These splits, there's no way this stays. It looks like he just 524 OBP against lefties. It's like with 0 home runs. He just like doesn't even want to swing. He's like, lefties, I'm just gonna sit here and hope they walk me. And righties, that's where I'll swing at. It's just such an interesting split, but it's small sample sizes. But so like, you can only take splits so far this early in the season. But Doc, you got anything else on the podcast before we close her out?
Oh, brother, I'm just happy to be alive. And next time y'all see me, I'm going to be losing this mustache. My wife, the lady who kisses me, she said she doesn't like kissing mustache, and it's been here since the fall. So take one last look.
One last look at that baby. Next, you got to go Raleigh finger stash next time. Because I told you you're slowly transforming from like 1890s Doc into Great Gatsby Doc. So we're gonna go like I think your next movie. I'm just calling it. I've got a gut feeling your next movie is gonna be a 1920s movie, 1920s performance. So we're gonna get a little bit of a Raleigh finger stash. You're gonna get a little top hat, and I think you're gonna be running some booze or something. You're gonna be you're gonna be running booze in Chicago is your next movie. There we go. So you can find Doc on the Twitter at Doc Eisenhauer, Dynasty Dingers podcast also, and then you can find me obviously on Fantasy Aceball at Fantasy Aceball and Fantasy Pros for my written work and the YouTube at the Tim Kanak. So we will see you next time. Peace out, everybody.